have everybody take a seat. Thank you all for coming today. We're right at 8:30, so we'll go ahead and get started. A busy day ahead of us. This is a wonderful morning for us to celebrate a life that was saved. A life that was saved here in Mesa by some heroes that we're going to recognize. If I could have Asa come on up, Brian, Tyler Ellis, Engine 205, Engine 222, and then I think that's everybody for right now. Come on up. I want to say that sometimes we have opportunities in our life that come up. We have to make a difference, and in this instance, on the freeway, these folks that acted quickly saved a life. Instead of me telling the story, I'm going to have them come up and tell kind of what they did to make Amy, where's Amy at? Amy's coming on in. Their acts of heroism, we have Amy here today because of it. So if we could have first our officer, Brian.
Yes, ma'am.
If you come up and tell your side of what happened, that would be great.
Good morning, everybody. I was on my way to work on the 60, going out to do some traffic enforcement in northwest Chandler, and I was just a few vehicles behind this big collision. When I saw vehicles kind of going all over the place, I activated my lights on my motor, kind of split traffic, got up, and observed what had just transpired. I observed the Nissan pickup truck was on fire and leaning on its side. My first thought was get traffic going around, then go check on injuries. As I got off my motor and approached everything that was going on, all I saw was arms inside this truck that was on fire. And I said a little explicitive word, ran back to my motor, got my baton, and went up, and my first thought was to get her out of the truck. And I wasn't going to stop beating that window until it finally broke. When it did, I raked the window away, and I've heard people say they've watched the video. I don't remember doing this, but they said I jerked backwards, I guess from the smoke or what have you, and then I heard a boom, kind of stepped back, and then the truck fell back on all fours, and then I turned and saw Asa in his turnout gear, and my first thought was like, he's got fire retardant gear. Dude, go. Then when Asa went up to the truck, he reached in and was able to get Amy out of the truck. He brought her back, and my first thought was, is anybody else in there? And I learned later that she had just had her kids in the truck. We got her out away from the fire, and I yelled at everybody else to get away from the truck. And just getting her away, and then as we're going over the median, and we're trying to, we're lifting her and going over to the middle of the road. And my first thought was, brother, I'm so glad you're here. I was very happy that he was with me. So it was great teamwork. Once again, we always work great with our fire brothers, and it worked out really well. I went around to check out for injuries and anybody else involved at that point, and then all of a sudden the resources just started rolling in and take care of business. There you go. There you have it. You're welcome, ma'am.
I appreciate that, officer. Asa, if you would come on up. It's always different to get everyone's perspective of what they did on the scene and to get the full picture.
Morning. So I was on my way to work for my normal 48-hour shift, and I just happened to see the column of smoke and fire. Firemen curious, kind of going around it, and I saw that they were beating the window trying to get someone out. And the bystanders, Officer Larison, the truck was on its side, and I saw it fall, and that's when I saw Amy kind of get thrown back in there. I had my turnouts because I worked a 10-hour shift the day before, and so luckily I had my turnouts in my trunk. So opened my trunk and put them on, and then helped Officer Larison, kind of pull her out of the truck. Thankfully it was right in time. He broke the window right on time, and we got her out, got her to safety. From there, just trying to make sure that if there's any other injuries, and call dispatch, let them know number of patients and stuff, and just stay out of the way so that these guys and girls can go to work and do their job. So, from there, like I said, I'm just grateful that we were there at the right place, right time, and able to make a difference and, have Amy here with us today. So grateful for everyone working together, the bystanders, Officer Larison, myself, and everyone behind me as well. So thank you.
Asa, thank you. Thank you. You made a difference there, too. Taking it out. Tyler, come on up. Tyler was a medic on this team.
So my name's Tyler. I'm a transport medic with Mesa Fire. I also was on my way to work. I'm usually never late to work, but this day I was oddly late. And, they say there's a reason for everything. And so as I'm on my motorcycle on my way to work, going down the 60, I see brake lights, and there was a bunch of cars stopping. And then the next thing I see is fire. And I don't see red and blue, so I was a little scared because that means I'm the closest person to help. So I went into the emergency lane, took the emergency lane up to the traffic, and as I came up, the officer here was, trying to break the window, and my first thought was I have a window breaker in my bag, so I ran to go and grab it. As I was coming back, they already got her out, pulled her to the side of the road, and then I just asked Asa if there was anything they needed. We checked her out, made sure she was doing okay, and then I just made my way across the freeway, making sure, all the other people that were involved were doing fine as well, which luckily they were. And then these guys came, and as soon as they were there, I was like, well, it's time for me to get to work, so headed right back to work, so, yeah.
You didn't get in trouble for being late.
No,
Okay,
God,
good,
no.
good. I'm glad we didn't make you. That's good. Good news. Thank you. Made a difference. Then the captain from 205, or 222, and 222. Then the crews arrived on the scene.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Greg. I'm captain on engine 222, one of the responding units. 205 we were kind of just tandem going down the freeway, trying to get through the traffic. So we were first on scene as a pair, and then a lot of fire. The vehicle was full involved. So worked with 205 to make sure we had enough water to tag up our supplies for the trucks. And we just did what we do every day on those types of calls. These guys did flawless work. We had one team going in for fire attack, 205, and then we were assigned, 22 was assigned for triage and treatment, which there was several vehicles scattered along the freeway. So we tried to, get a good picture of what we had and how many patients we had total, which there was a number of them. And I didn't see Amy initially. She was with the DPS officer. So when we kind of made a full circle back around, I saw her standing there on her phone and pretty frantic as expected. So we quickly, the AMBO arrived at the same time. So with this type of event, with smoke inhalation, we don't mess around. It's time, seconds matter. So we get her in the back of the ambulance, and I fully expected her to be in more critical condition than she was. And just taking a look at her, it was amazing how she escaped that vehicle with minor injuries. So very glad to see that. We left the scene pretty quick, get to the hospital, and these crews did all the hard work getting that car fire out, and there was a few other patients that were minor injuries as well that they took care of. So these guys did a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. So because of the quick action on February 18th at about 7 in the morning at Valdez in the 60, life-saving actions, and then the crew doing their job and taking care of her, Amy Ruiz is here today. So Amy, if you would come on up and kind of give your side.
I seriously can't believe it's already been a week since that accident. I still think about it every second of my day, but I also think about how lucky I am to be here to tell the story still, and I'm really grateful for everybody that stepped in, especially Officer Larison, Asa, and all the firefighters, ambulance, everybody that stood by my side during the whole thing. It's truly been life-changing, but I guess you could say in a weird way. But I'm so thankful to be here. I really would like to move on from the nightmare. I've got a long, long journey ahead of me of healing mentally and physically. But I'm ready. I'm ready to move on from this and just be stronger than I ever was, and just be strong through this whole thing and I just thank everybody, every single one of you guys, everybody behind me, everybody that stood by, the Good Samaritans, everybody. I seriously still can't believe it, that I'm still here. Try not to get emotional anymore. I'm so tired of crying. Thank you guys so much, and thank you guys so much for everything you guys have done for me and for saving my life. Again, thank you, and for staying by my side during the whole thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. There were angels following you that day, and the heroes here really have it. So I'm glad they got to meet you. It's always good to meet you after the incident. So thankful that you're here today and for all the work that each of you did. I'd like our mayor, Mayor Freeman, if you'd come on up. Oh, this is our mayor for the city of Mesa. Just to say a few words. Thank you, Mayor Freeman.
Stand right here with me. You bet. This will. So you never know in a morning what your actions are going to be like. I'm a retired Mesa Fire Paramedic Captain, did that for over 3 decades, and I just appreciate the life-saving actions of the crews. You never know when your gear is going to be in the back of your car and you have to respond to an emergency, and the Chandler police officer in his response to, I saw the smoke. My wife says, hey, there's a fire on the US 60, and I go, oh, they got it handled. Well, not knowing the whole extent of the accident. And so I'd like to thank our first responders to get Amy out of the car and then check her out physically. And then there's some mental health healing here going on that she needs to resolve, but we're here to support her, and we appreciate her and all that she's doing. So, and again, my kudos to the responding crews. Appreciate that. So with that, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Chief Bernard, did you want to say anything, or Chief Sikowski? Sure. This is Chief Gary Bernard from Peoria, ACE's boss.
Hi, thanks, Chief Kamali. This is quite an ordeal. Obviously, we're very proud of ASA and very impressed with all the other folks that tried to help the civilians and the officer, obviously. Whether you believe in God or not, there's a higher power that day helping out. The timing on that stuff, I've watched that video dozens of times, and the timing is just impeccable. To get the window open, to have Asa with his gear on at that time, to get her out, the car going back, her falling back, just amazing on the timing to get her out. And with those angels that Chief talked about, I think there's something special you're supposed to be doing in this world for you just to get out of that. Just like the captain from 222 said, he expected a lot worse. And when you respond to this stuff all the time and you roll up to that scene, your first inclination is size it up, and any captain arriving is going to go, it's bad, we need more help. And to have no injuries and her to survive with, no injuries, it's amazing. So congratulations, and thank you to all you guys, the first responders that come and help afterwards. Just amazing. It just blows me away. I can't believe it. So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Chief Sikowski, Assistant Chief for Chandler PD.
Good morning. My name is Jason Sikowski. I'm the Operations Assistant Chief at Chandler PD. Again, I want to thank our friends in the fire service, certainly Officer Larison, Amy. Thank you. Thank you for being here and certainly recognizing all of these folks. I remember getting the call this morning from Brian's commander saying that Brian had just pulled somebody out of a car on the US 60 that had been in a serious wreck, and my first thought was, why was he on the 60 headed to Chandler? But as Brian said, he was about to go do some traffic enforcement in the north side of the city. I think it's really just as the Peoria chief said, whether you believe in a higher power or not, Brian was put in that position for a reason that morning. That's not his usual route to work, so we're very thankful and grateful for that. I think it's also a testament as you hear the stories of the fire crews, the other civilian bystanders that stepped up to help out that day. It's a testament to not only the culture of public safety in Arizona, but certainly the people that live in our great state, and how everybody is willing to step up in a time of need. So again, kudos to everyone that was involved that day. Certainly, Amy, we're blessed and very happy that you are doing well, and you certainly have a journey ahead of you. But kudos to all of you, so thank you very much.
All right. It's a good reminder to us. Every day, we never know what we're going to be faced with each and every day. And to be prepared and be ready in this job, and what you all did that morning made a difference. And like you heard from the chiefs prior, thank you. Thank you, thank you. We can't thank you enough. And Amy, we wish you the very best, and know that, like they said, you're here for a reason. But thank you all for being here. We're going to give them certificates, pass out certificates for them, and then, so thank you all for coming. We appreciate it, and congratulations. Also, we have Councilmember Julie Spilsbury here as well to witness all of this. And, Councilmember Duff, come on up. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Okay, yes, all right, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. All right, thank you all very much. You don't, your pictures? Okay, thank you guys so much, appreciate it, yeah.
How you doing? It's good to see you. How you been?
If you all want to do further interviews, you want to? Hey, Amy and everybody that, Officer Larison and everybody. You want to come up and say
Whatever works for you guys. Back at the podium. We're all, yeah, we'll all just get back here. Yeah.
Just right here is fine. You can look elsewhere. You can look wherever you want. I still gotta get your I still gotta get your photos.
Oh, okay.
Because they didn't send stuff to me.
I don't think so.
'Cause I
No.
think I'm the only one that.
Yeah, I saw them. I think on the Chandler PD page, and that was my answer. Okay.
Because I'm way behind you.
No worries.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. So I'll get them to you.
Okay.
Hopefully by the end of Friday.
Wednesday. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. Wow.
I'm going to be looking at that guy with the 15 on.
Lovely gentleman in the middle, just look at him the whole time.
Yeah,
Okay.
ask you a couple. I'm just here for support.
Okay. Thank you.
Nathan Ferguson.
Just talk about being here to see these first responders and everything that happened.
Okay.
And you're looking at it.
I didn't, well, honestly, I didn't expect so many first responders to be here, so I got a little nervous. But after a while, it felt really good to be here. I'm so happy that everybody came together, and all of the first responders that were on the scene actually got to come together, which was really nice. And just seeing everybody, and it truly made me happy being able to say thank you again to everybody here. I feel like I've actually gotten to say thank you to everybody, even the 3 bystanders that were there trying to break the window. I even got to talk to them and see them, and it feels good. And getting to do this, it's such an honor being here and talking about it again with all of you guys, and it just really getting me through it. Just getting me through everything. You guys are so supportive, and I've gotten nothing but love and support from all you guys, and I feel like I've made another family, and it feels so good, and I feel so happy being here. I'm still so thankful to be here. My gosh, still, wow. I seriously still can't believe it's been a week. And it feels like the longest week ever.
Were you able to watch the video, and what surprised you about seeing it, or what was your first reaction to watching it?
I haven't been watching it as much, just kind of see it pop up whenever it pops up. Like, I can't even really scroll through anything without it popping up, but it just comes up every once in a while. But I look at it and I just think, I'm a badass. I'm bad. So now I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I still can't believe I made it through that. And for anybody who knows any Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon phrases, they're now calling me Mother of Dragons because fire can't kill a dragon. So it's been kind of nice hearing that from some friends. So
You talked about it being an emotional experience, and you have an emotional road to recovery. During the interviews over here, you kept looking back over at your husband. What was going through your mind at that point? I noticed every time you were talking, you're looking back at him. Just kind of talk about that emotional.
just because he's been my biggest support in all of this. He even held me in the car yesterday because I had to do doctor's appointments all day yesterday. So just being in the car and getting on the freeways was just so scary. And when we finally came to a stop, I had a complete meltdown, and this was just yesterday. And he sat there and told me we're gonna get through this. It's gonna be hard, but you're strong and you're gonna make it through this. And that's why I just keep looking back at him, because he's just been my biggest love, my big support through all this, more than anybody.
You want to say a couple words, just when you found out what was going on, what was going through your mind?
Just when I found out, it was all very terrifying. Just hearing your wife calling for help, and you can't do anything about it. But we're all trying to get past it now, so we'll all get through it. We'll come back stronger.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
¿Cómo te sientes de estar hoy aquí y a quién tienes que agradecer?
Mande.
¿Cómo te sientes de estar hoy aquí y a quién tienes que agradecer? ¿A quién le das gracias hoy?
Gracias a todos que están aquí. Y muchas gracias que todos que estaban conmigo en ese día. Tengo muchas gracias y gracias a Dios que todavía que estoy aquí.
All right, I think we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
No. You can stay here with me.
Oh, you're next to
Sarge, one of the things we kind of heard through all this, especially from all the first responders,
trying to, whether it's you on patrol on a bike or whether it's the firefighters showing up, timing, I don't think people really realize how seconds really matter. And you being there in that situation, you heard it from the captain. He was surprised because of the help that was already there ahead of time.
Yes, sir. I think you've heard a couple times today that it's whether you believe in a higher power or not, I do. I'm a man of faith, and I truly believe that we were there for a purpose. And I've whispered in her ear a couple of times now. She's got something waiting for her, and God's got a plan for her. Absolutely. You know, I know without a doubt if I wouldn't have broke that window, and Asa wasn't there, you know, she may not be here with us.
You know, the fact that you guys do this on a daily basis, we were able to see this caught on camera now with technology and the way it is now, but this is something you first responders are put in pretty much on a daily basis.
Yes, sir. I didn't realize I activated my camera. You know, whenever I do a traffic stop, anytime I'm in any kind of call for service, our first thing is to activate this camera. And this does not record when this is hooked up to it. And this was actually on my helmet. And, you know, we motor officers like to wear these things because we can, you know, it sees what we see. So it just, I didn't realize I turned it on. I didn't realize I turned it off. And I got to work and I put this in the dock and it uploaded and I had one video. And I'm like, I got it. It was, you know, that's what everybody has seen.
It's crazy.
Hi.
Turnouts, I mean, 20 years in the past, this wouldn't have happened. Just talk about having all the different equipment like Sarge was talking about, but on the fire side.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like having my turnouts with me, obviously they give me the extra thermal protection, you know, that the bystanders and Officer Larison didn't have. But you know, it's good to have the equipment when you need it or when you want it. And yeah, I mean, I'm just glad I was there to have them with me that day. I don't drive around with them on, contrary to what, you know, social media thinks. So, but no, I just had them on me in my trunk because I had worked overtime. So I just happened to be there that day in the right place, right time.
How quick was the process to get your turnouts on?
You know, in the academy we have a minute to put our turnout gear on and 30 seconds to throw our pack. And so in that moment, you know, I was kicked off my Crocs. I've been getting grief because I had Crocs on. I think they were in the shop. But no, I had to put my gear on pretty quick, and I didn't zip it up all the way. My helmet fell off because I didn't even have time to strap it because, you know, right as I was putting my coat on, the car flipped over, and I saw the smoke was billowing out pretty heavily. It was thick black smoke, so I just went in there and tried to help get her out. So, you know, I didn't, you know, and normally we have our air packs, we have a mask on, and, you know, especially in the fire service right now, a big thing is cancer. And so not having that is something that I definitely think of or that you're factoring in, but in that moment, you know, there's someone that needs to be removed from the fire, and so you take that risk, you're willing to make that risk. All the firefighters, police officers here are willing to make that risk, and, you know, so honestly, people think, or ask me, like, what were you thinking about afterwards? And I was thinking about calling my BC to put me in for an exposure report to make sure, you know, I'm covered in case, you know, something happens later down the road. So, but, yeah, try to put it on as fast as I could.
Have you had a chance to watch the video afterwards, and what were your thoughts going into that? I know a lot of times training videos are there for you guys, but now you were the training video.
No, I didn't know that there was a video until our PIO called me and told me, asked me if I had helped someone, and I told him I don't know what you're talking about. So he said, well, I have a video with you on it, so that's why I found out about the video. But the video is kind of surreal. Like, in the moment, I didn't really realize that it was that well involved. You know, I was just kind of hyper-focused on Amy and getting her out. But also seeing the video, I was glad, you know, that I had described it to the fire chief the way that the video kind of played out. So, you know, so I was glad to see that. But definitely in the video, it was really cool to see how quickly Officer Larison was on scene and how quickly bystanders were there, and they all were trying to make a difference. You you know, I think it's really cool to see in this world where you see that there's good people out there, you know, people here in the valley wanting to help others, all putting themselves at risk. So that video, it's pretty cool to see. You know, the guys all play at the station in my face and give me grief for it. So, no, it's cool to see. It's cool to see people coming together, and it's cool to see, and for the public to see that, you know, police and fire, we work together, and that, you know, they're out there every day doing this stuff. It's nothing unique to that day, to us. It's guys 24 hours a day doing this stuff. So it's good to see that and put that out there for the public to see.
Thank you all.
Thank you.